It was a Mark 1 Ford Granada banger car, so it had the wings all clipped back, had the numbers on the doors. It was a real niche tattoo.
You spotted that as well, second Almera of the day.
That's 2 Almeras within an hour.
But I tell you what, now you've tuned into this, keep your eyes peeled for how many Almeras you see.
On an average day?
On an average day, they're everywhere. You don't really notice until you tune into it. Everywhere. Almeras and Mark 1 Honda Jazzes, they're like cockroach cars, because they're hard to kill.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And people keep them a long time.
Yeah.
And you can buy one for 300 quid or something, and they're all over the shop. I promise you, we'll see another Almera quite soon. Of that I'm certain. Suzuki Ignis, look. Not Ignis, that's a Liana, isn't it? That's a Liana hatchback.
A Liana?
There's a surprising number of those as well.
I don't believe that.
Hard to kill.
I don't believe there's many Lianas.
I'm very tuned to Lianas because we had the Liana on Top Gear for years as the reasonably priced car. And that Liana, our main Liana star car, did 10,000 miles in
just
time with us.
Track only.
Just track, and the engineers at Suzuki reckon that was equivalent of 100,000 in the real world.
I bet it was.
They used to take that car back between series and sort of poke around in it. You know, like when doctors are really fascinated by
if you've got
by
rare...
old people. Yeah. Well, this guy, a friend of mine's a GP, and you know your cholesterol is sort of it's like it should be below 4, I think, shouldn't it, or even 3?
Well, what's the scale? I don't even know.
Well, that's the thing, but anything above, I think, 4, 5, if you're into 6, that's bad. That's really bad. That's high cholesterol. You shouldn't have that.
What's yours?
Last time I was checked, I was told it was fine, but I should watch it. And I went, well, hang on, that's sort of, it feels like that's 2 bits of information that's conflicting. And I went, I don't understand. She went, you should make sure you try and reduce your cholesterol. And I said, but I thought you just said it was fine. And she went, yes, it is fine, but it should be lower. And I went, but then again, you're sort of saying conflicting things. To the point where then she rang me back later and went, yeah, you should definitely manage your cholesterol. And I went, so is it a cause for concern? And she went, no.
What? That's too polite. She's being very British.
I know.
You almost want a Nigerian doctor. It's a little bit harsher than that.
You're going to die. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Change soon.
So, my mate who's a GP had this elderly Sikh gentleman in, and he was obviously, very old-fashioned, had not got the memo about eating more healthily, and I guess because he was Sikh, he was eating a lot of stuff that's made with clarified butter. Ghee, if you will.
Ghee.
A lot of ghee.
Yeah.
And my mate said that in his practice they saw a lot of older Asian gentlemen who had high cholesterol because of the ghee.
Yeah.
But this bloke, bear in mind, sort of 4 or 5 is where a doctor would ring you with a weird phone call or not,
what, and say
and
things
go, hey, watch out.
Yeah.
This guy, 12. And my mate was like, I think they asked the test to be done again because they were so, no, this can't be right. That can't be right.
Cholesterol.
Medically, that's extraordinary.
What, as in he shouldn't be alive?
Well,
the heart shouldn't be working?
Yeah, because he was sort of in his 70s as well. And you go, now, how long has this been going on for? So he became this sort of medical fascination where he was sort of passed round various specialists. They all wanted to prod at him and make sure he was real. But yeah, 12, I mean, his blood must have been pure red ghee. It's just, it cut him and then he'd have to sort of squeeze some of it out.
Oh, what, like a sachet of really real tomato ketchup?
Sachet of old ketchup. Oh, yeah.
Like toothpaste where you have to roll it over and keep forcing the pressure out.
All those pump, those tall pump toothpastes.
Yes.
And the last bit, you have to find something you can poke up the bottom of it.
That's right. I remember Aquafresh back.
Aquafresh, yeah.
I remember when they were modern. I'd like, because Suzuki in India is Maruti.
Yes.
I'd like them to do a ghee whiz. Because you remember the ghee whiz kid, the Suzuki whiz kid, which is kind of the Ignis. The Ignis is looks like the old G whiz. Whiz kid. I'd like them to do a ghee whiz kid.
But that's the thing. That would probably be around for 1,000 years because good and specifically good Japanese cars, because they last as long as they don't rust, which they don't anymore.
Yeah.
Mechanically, they have such integrity.
Yeah.
That unless there is, certain cars just have one fatal flaw.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Porsche 911, 997 era generation 1. They have that intermediate shaft bearing, just goes and can lunch your engine.
Yeah.
One fatal flaw. Otherwise, fairly reliable cars.
Yeah. The Jag V8 piston liner thing. Yeah. On the early V8s.
Yeah.
Everything has its Achilles. It is the Achilles heel.
It's true, because actually those Jags, because I had that XJR, it's those piston liners. If that doesn't go, the only thing is the water pump goes.
Yeah.
And the cam chain tensioner. So actually, there's 3 things.
I was going to say
that's it. But otherwise, I know it sounds ridiculous. There's 3 major things that should lunch your engine.
Yeah.
But if none of those get you, you're home and dry.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty tough cars. And so as long as, and I'm presuming that the Nissan Almera does not have a fatal flaw.
The Nissan Almera is a crocodile, and I think a crocodile is one of the only animals that can't get AIDS. It can have an open wound and live in very badly infected waters, and they've done experiments on it's either a crocodile or an alligator, I can't remember which, but it's one of the only few animals you can inject it with AIDS and it doesn't matter. I'm serious.
But what if you injected a dog with AIDS? What would happen to a dog?
Well, cats can definitely get AIDS.
Cats have AIDS, but I've never heard of dog AIDS. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Crocodiles.
Horse AIDS. What about horse?
Crocodiles can't get cancer. Crocodiles can't get cancer.
Right. Okay.
Crocodiles. Okay. What's great about crocodiles is several million years ago they reached the pinnacle of evolution.
Yeah.
And they went, "Do you want to inject me with AIDS and cancer? Fill your boots, mate."
So are you admitting you've confused cancer and AIDS? Because I don't think there is, for example, camel AIDS. I think there are lots of creatures that can't get AIDS because there is no
it might be
AIDS in their species.
I'll check.
I think even if you shared a needle with a hamster, and you had HIV, the hamster would not get it.
Okay, so
I don't think it works like that.
I think maybe it's cancer.
And there's no dog AIDS, there's no llama AIDS, snake AIDS. But there may be, in fact there definitely is, cancer in dogs and cats, and I think in horses.
Okay, so I will make sure we have the definitive answer.
What about a cancerous snake? Because it might be something to do with warm and cold blood.
Snake cancer. Don't know if my tortoises can get cancer. I'll look that up when I get home. Fascinating.
But the thing is,
how did we get onto this?
Well, I would be slightly aggrieved if it turns out that crocodiles are impervious to major, potentially fatal illnesses, because crocodiles are twats.
Do you think?
I fucking hate crocodiles. I hate crocodiles. They're the one creature I don't like. I'm not keen on horses, but that's different. Well, it's only because horses have got it in for me. That's why.
Have you been hurt by a horse?
Yeah.
Have you?
They're bastards.
Why? What happened?
Well, all right. Exhibit A. When I was a kid, I was kicked by a horse for no reason.
Which can be fatal.
I was sort of knocked to the ground, but I could have been launched across the stable and killed.
Yeah.
I was on holiday in Greece, and opposite our apartment there was a little paddock with a horse in it. It was quite a nice horse, and I thought I'd go over and pet the horse on the nose, as you do. And the fucker bit me really hard, like took a chunk out of my arm. The horses are idiots.
Horses are quite strange. They're majestic, beautiful creatures, and they're featured, of course, in many a car badge.
Yes.
Well, I can think of 2 anyway. There's going to be more. I'm sure there's more. I bet there's a hidden horse in an Alfa Romeo logo.
No, that's just a cancerous snake.
Is it a snake with it wrapped around a sword or something?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway, I admire horses, and I used to have a part-time job at a sort of pony riding school in my last year of primary school.
Right.
And used to groom them and prep them and stuff. And once my mate convinced me to ride one bareback, not in the way that you might be thinking, with the son saddle, but he was tricking me, and I got on it and it didn't flinch, but then he whipped it.
Oh.
Because I didn't realise he had a whip in his back pocket.
Oh.
And I was I was galloping around a field,
clinging onto a horse,
literally hanging onto its mane, and then went underneath it. And
oh,
was still,
like in a cowboy movie.
Like in a cowboy movie, but less cool.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even started puberty, so I was probably screeching.
I've ridden a donkey bareback when I was a kid. It's bloody hard work.
It's really hard work. Yeah. And if you get it wrong, you can destroy your eggs.
Yes.
Destroy them. Because you sort of you sit on your own testicles basically at speed.
It does make me wonder who figured out that you could ride a horse in the first place. Because did they have an inkling and then invent the saddle? Because if you just got on a horse without a saddle, you'd go, this is bloody awful, I'm not doing this again. And this creature's a moron. Look, it's just spearing off across a field. I mean,
I bet you what they did is they changed
naturally seem like they'd be useful, and yet somebody went, let's stick with this one, lads. I think we can make it work. I've never been bitten or kicked by a crocodile, but I just don't trust them.
Crocodiles don't blink.
No.
For a very long time.
Yeah. And they devour people, and they're just bastards. Also, they do that thing which I find very sinister, where they go.
Yes. There's another Almera.
See?
No way!
I told you.
There's another Almera.
I told you. See, now you're tuned in.
Bloody hell! This is.
I'll give you. I mean, now I'm on high alert.
Call Chris Packham. This is Spring Watch.
I don't know that Chris Packham is that interested in Almeras, but you don't know unless he mistakenly thinks that's a type of owl or something.
But it could be rarer. If we could prove to him that it's rarer than a certain type of owl. Hey.